Hi, welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. All right, we've got Mike Breese. He is a president of PinPoint Homes, pinpointeg.com. Mike, welcome back to the show. How you been?
Hey, I've been great, Michael. Thanks for having me on. Happy Easter to you.
You too. You too. I got my Easter coat. I wore it to the club last night. They just loved it.
This should have been an in-studio interview, you're telling me.
Yeah, right. It could have been. Hey, listen, let's back up. Just give them an overview of what your company does, and I want to get into what it is that you're doing that's outperforming the market. And that's a big statement because that's been a pretty blazing trail in the market. But first, a little background on who you are, what you're doing, and then tell me how you outperform the market.
Yeah, absolutely. So, PinPoint, as you know, is a single-family home real estate fund, private equity fund. We're flipping homes. Let me go a little more detail. We're buying distressed assets that we can reposition to either flip or rent. And then part of our reposition process which goes to the outperforming piece, is a higher scale rehab, a little more involved rehab of new design, adding master suites, doing more than the typical real estate investor and flipper that's out there. So that's what we're doing at a large scale and looking to continue to grow.
Okay. All right. What's, without giving away the secret sauce, because there's always a competitor listening around every corner, what are some of the things that you're doing that your competitors just can't compete with, because otherwise everybody would have your returns and they don't?
Michael, a lot of it has to deal with experience, trial and error, really. I think in anything to kind of master it, you have to have been involved in it deeply for a long time. And so, our team has that. But, beyond that, when you think about real estate and how to capitalize on it and do as well as you can do, it's all based on two strong things. One, the acquisition. Really, that's where it starts. You have to buy right. You have to buy at the right price and the right locations. Seems like common sense, but it's harder to do than you think. There's a formula for it, and that's probably the secret sauce. Okay. And then the secondarily is the design. You can't just go in and think new paint, carpet, appliances, we should be good to go. People will be happy with this. It looks pretty. It smells pretty. Again, it's a lot more involved than that, because the buyers, especially today, Michael, I've noticed it over the years, especially today, are very picky about what they want, which they should be. I think more realize that if we buy this home, we're going to be in it. We can't just count on it to continue to rise in value like it was in the early 2000s, and we'll just sell out if we don't like it. So you have to understand the design piece just as much as that acquisition piece. And with those two things, that's what we're very strong at, and that's why our returns are what they are.
Now, you're forging a direction here, the senior program. It's a unique program to accommodate seniors in downsizing or transition. Talk to me about the thought process of going in that direction, and more about the description of it, why you feel that this is just going to be a very profitable venture going forward.
Well, with the senior program, we did that to provide another outlet for seniors out there that were looking for an easy transaction. And previous to this program, they're really the only option they had to avoid huge disturbances in their life and to get a cash deal and to get it done quickly, was to work with wholesalers, which is another topic to deal with. But these wholesalers were really falling through, and we can get into that specifically if you want to, of why and how they fail. But they're kind of leaving them to fend for their own. And then if you got into a traditional retail sale, well, then there would be a lot of updates and maintenance they needed to do to their homes to get it caught up. They'd have to deal with an agent, real estate agent, deal with showings, deal with all the clutter that gets accumulated over all those years they've been living in their beautiful home. So they were left to fend for themselves. And so with our senior program, we're giving them the guarantee they're looking for. We're giving them the ease they're looking for. We're giving them the privacy and discretion they're looking for, and helping accommodate them and getting the cash they need, getting it sold quickly, letting them stay in their home even after we've bought it, give them time to transition, and then also whatever they don't want, they just leave it behind, and we'll take care of it. And partnering with the seniors developers up here in Minneapolis, doing that, and we're going to be expanding this globally. it's been a real treat because it's helping them. We're giving back to the community. We're being good stewards on that part, and we're really helping a certain class that just is underserviced right now. And then for us as the investor, of course, our job is to make money with our money, and it's enabling a non-competitive purchase transaction. So it's very seamless for us too. So it's a win-win.
Okay. Yeah. Early on in the answer, you had mentioned the guarantee they're looking for. What do you mean by that?
Guarantee the what?
The guarantee that they're looking for. What did you mean by that?
Oh, guarantee, meaning they don't have or need or want to deal with a typical closing where there's, the traditional closing where there's a loan officer, there's a buyer, there's a lot of inspections that need to be done to make sure that the financing can actually be applied to that home. There are requirements lenders have for these homes, certain conditions they need to be in, and certain functions that are a must, that if they aren't there, you might have the house sold, but then it falls through during the underwriting process. And so the guarantee that we're giving them is, this is the price we're going to pay, this is when we're going to close, and we meet all those objectives. There's nothing to be left to things getting in the way, whether it's inspections, appraisal issues, finance issues. None of that applies. So that's what I mean by a guarantee.
I got it. You stand up, you walk in, they slate better when they shake your hand because they know the deal's going to go through and they're going to be happy at the end. There's no
exactly.
Guesswork. Okay,
I handle a lot of these meetings as well as Leslie Evanoff, and we enjoy these meetings. And when we shake their hand and say this is the number, that's the number. We don't change it. And there's a lot to be said for that. It seems so simple, but in real estate, giving a number and sticking to a number, kind of foreign. So the fact that we give it and stick to it, that's refreshing.
All right, we tell Leslie I said hi. You have an amazing partner there. Brilliant. I'm just so happy to see that team when you guys came to Dallas. But Houston project, we got about a minute and a half left. You'll be back again next week, but I want to at least touch on this Houston project topic today before we close.
Absolutely, yeah. So Houston, we're going in on it's going to be a 2.5 to 3 year project. Go in and buy about $100 million worth of assets to reposition that were damaged from the hurricane. So we'll go in, we'll take care of the hurricane damage, but we'll also put in the design touches, which again, to your point about having a great partner, Leslie Evanoff, she's fabulous with the design. So she'll put her artwork behind how these homes look when we're done with them, and we're hoping to stabilize one block neighborhood at a time to get those communities active and going again.
Wow.
I'll be down there this weekend, and I'll have a lot to tell you next week.
Oh, good. Take plenty of pictures. And for all the listening audience, Mike and I are going to start doing a little television together, so we're going to put a little video and visual with this conversation. Mike, thanks for being on the show. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, Michael. Again, happy Easter to you and all the listeners, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it. Mike Breese, PinPoint Homes, pinpointeg.com. You've been listening to CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for listening to us, whether you're in Dallas or you're in Hong Kong. Please, those accolades you're giving us online, keep those cards and letters coming. We'd love to hear about what your thoughts are and how much you like us. Follow us on all of the social media outlets, and don't forget, everything's podcast. We're bringing you TV real soon. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for being a guest.